Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, this is a transfer show. Plus, we're also going to talk about the new home top as well. I'm joined by Roly. How are you, Roly? All right?
I'm melting, but I'm still feeling Champions League.
Yeah, melting here as well. I was going to do this in the garden, and I thought, no, I'm not. I'm staying indoors. It's not much cooler indoors. It's 29 degrees here today, and it's absolutely baking. It's ridiculous. Anyway, if you like what you see, then please smash the like. It does help the channel up the search results, so smash those likes. Thank you very much. Also, if you are brand new at the channel, then come and hit the subscribe button and join this wonderful community. And also that bell notification, that will tell you when I'm live, I have a pre-record, or I have any upcoming shows. So currently on 606 subscribers, so only 44 away now from the 650. See, the sun's getting to me. Also, if you do want to make a donation, there is a link in the chat. Just click the link and follow the instructions. Okay, let's get into some comments because they're flying in. Jake, hello, Roly and guest. Roly and guest? You mean Tony and Roly? He's taking the pain now, Jake.
Yeah, he's
Just
promoted
because the sun's
me.
out, it hasn't got your head that much, has it?
Yeah, he's probably not got a hat on.
Yeah. Godfather evening, Tony Roly. Have you seen the Salah Riyadh Boulevard video? I haven't seen the video,
No,
but I've seen pictures. And I'll tell you what, the pictures look absolutely stunning because it's all black and white and UFC and everything. It looks terrific.
I have to have a look and see what I can have a look at that. That would
Rolling
be.
North evening, Tony and Roly. Good evening to you. Hope you're well, mate.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Tony and Roly. Good afternoon to you, Bia. Hope you're well. And Gareth says, good afternoon, Tony and Roly. Good afternoon to you, Gareth. I hope you're very well indeed as well. Yeah, so first thing I'm going to bring up Roly, and I'll bring the little pick up on screen as well, just so we can see it. So we found out yesterday that Salah would be the new sponsor on the front of the shirt, which was absolutely fantastic because that brings in £25 million a year to the club, much needed revenue to help generate the funds inside the club. Coincide that, the new shirt was announced as well. Terrific looking shirt. Absolutely loved it. I said yesterday, I'm getting on that. I'm getting on that for 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to make sure I get one because I definitely want one of these shirts. So I had to nip to I had to drop my other half off at work. She got to work, and then I had to nip out to Tesco's. I got back. I managed to get back home for about 20 to 8 this morning, and I just went to look at. I thought, oh, it's 5 to 8. I better just log in. I went to log on. I could get straight on and buy it. I thought, oh, okay, this is great. Thought it was 8 o'clock. So anyway, 5 to 8 gets on, and I bought my shirt. Yes, it's gone up to £70 now. The shirt. That could be because one, we know there's a cost of living crisis, but one, it could be the fact that success, we're looking a bit better. Plus, Castor's range of stuff as well. It is quality in some aspects as well. Roly, that shirt. I mean, look. First of all, what do you think of that shirt? It's retro 80s, isn't it?
Yeah. It reminds me. Let's say the Keegan era, when not the first season he played, but the second season we had that similar style with the collar, sort of V-neck. Right, you didn't have the black on the shoulders, but it was that sort of style. I think it's really classy. I like it. And the Salah, I think the way they've done the Salah as well, is in black and white. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely, Roly, and makes it look even better as well. Better than what the Fun 88 was with the blue in, wasn't it? I mean,
it sort of spoiled it.
Yeah, I thought it spoiled it, the blue Fun 88. I mean, yes, they are a bit pricey, the tops, but do you know what? That's like I say, that just comes with the with the fact that we're now a bit more successful than we have been in recent years, and That's the way it is. Not only have they launched that, but I'm going to bring this up on screen as well, just show people that I think this is quite nice. But would I pay £50 for it? I'm not so sure. That's the only problem because it's what you call a heat seal badge on the top. So there it is. Now it's coming on screen. Now that is the match day T-shirt. Now I think that's quite a nice T-shirt. I like the design of it. Really nice. But would I pay £50? I don't know. I don't think I would, in all honesty. Because as I say, it's not like a sewn-on badge or anything. It's just a transfer badge that you put on with a heat seal machine. I used to do all that stuff when I worked in PPE. Heat seal and transfers on. That's all that basically is. It's nice, but would I pay £50? Nah, I don't think so. Would you, Roly?
Nah. It's okay. I mean, I could take it for me. I'm not so thrilled with the bit at the bottom, the sort of check bit at the bottom. I think that's probably goes up a little bit too far. But I don't think I'd pay fit. I'm not a great one for spending money on clothes, so I probably wouldn't spend it on it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Godfather says it's on YouTube. Yeah, I'll check that out after the show. Godfather,
So
have a look.
There's a 48-second one on YouTube where it's third Saudi Arabia black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, hope you're all well. Yeah, absolutely fine. Thank you very much indeed, mate, and welcome on the channel. I think it's your first time. If it is, please give that subscribe a hit and also hit that like as well. That's great, and welcome to the channel. And hope you come on more often, mate. Exploring the Northeast, new shirt looks amazing. Yes, it does, absolutely. I love it, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait for it to, for it to come through the door. When it comes through the door, I will do a little bit of a video with it. So, yep, you will see that.
I thought you're going to do a little bit of a jig.
Not a jig. I could do a Bobby Robson jig, couldn't I? Suppose remember Bobby Robson jigging on the touchline when he was England manager. Fantastic days. Love that bloke, Sir Bobby, absolute legend. I remember once I was delivering stationery at St James's Park and he got in the lift with me. Lovely guy. BS says, bought mine this morning. Happy to give my money to the club now rather than Ashley Days. Yeah, absolutely. We went to other outlets to get with shirts. But this time around, no, we don't mind giving it to the club. Hopefully, this could be the last season with Castor. And then maybe we can move on to a better supplier who will pay a bit more money per season rather than what Castor are paying. So, yeah, absolutely. Holly says, yes, I agree. The kit is much better. Yeah, it's absolutely better, Holly, isn't it? Absolutely, Holly. Gary says, good evening, Tony and Mr. Roly. Good evening to you, Gary. Hope you're well, mate. Daniela says, £70 for a football top is disgusting for any club. You buy all 3 match shirts, that's almost 210. Do you know what it is, Daniela? You're absolutely spot on. It is. I thought it was expensive, in all honesty. I thought 65 last season was quite expensive. For it to go up to £70, I thought, that is expensive. It is a nice kit, and I had to get the top. I'm not sure what the away tops are going to be like. We know there's leaks out there. I mean, how much, I know you're a West Ham fan, so I don't know how much they currently charge, but I think the thing with Castor as well, because they're a more high-end sports company as well, they tend to knock out their stuff a little bit more expensive than what other teams do. But again, it's a nice top, Daniel, and I see what you mean by that, though. Yeah, if you buy all 3, it's £210. That is a lot of money. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with you. And she says, so Bobby, not only a legend in Newcastle, but a legend of football. Absolutely, Danielle. Definitely. So Bobby was a breath of fresh air. One of the best England managers we ever had. Got us to the semi-finals of the World Cup. I think had we beat Germany, we would have beat Argentina in that final. Yeah, we would have beat Argentina in that final, and Bobby would have won the World Cup for us, certainly in 1990, because we would have got revenge on 4 years earlier with Maradona's hand of God. So yeah, definitely, he's an absolute legend, that man, top man. Foxy says, love the shirt. Always said I wanted it to be more like the Paraguayan Libertad FC shirt with the sponsor in black and white. Perfect. It is, Foxy. I love the sponsorship. I mean, look, it's just, you look at it, it's just absolutely fantastic that. You've got the sponsorship in the black and white, and it just, that just looks absolutely fantastic. And well done to the owners for getting that right as well. Hey, Gaddy, it's not my first time, but I can be more of a listener rather than a chatter often. That's no worries, mate, but great to have you on board anyway. Thank you very much indeed. Daniela says the same for the European top. All right, okay. Yeah, I mean, were you happy with that top West Ham more the other night? I thought you would have wore your claret, but I was a bit surprised when I saw that
Yeah.
top, and I was thinking there's no sponsorship on it, and I was a bit shocked by that top. I don't know what's your thoughts, Danielle, on that top, because you're obviously a West Ham fan. Were you happy with that top, or were you a bit disappointed? Let us know. Egadius says, so Bobby changed me from a Newcastle supporter to a Geordie. The love that man had showed and demanded for the club. Absolutely. I mean, that man had a lot of love for the club. And do you know what it is? What really, really paid me off was when Freddie Shepherd sacked him. And Freddie Shepherd's excuse for sacking him was, nobody's too big to be sacked. And I thought, what an idiot that man is. I mean, he sacked him because we had a slow start. If you look at Bobby Robson when we played, we had slow starts, but we finished in the top four. We got to a semi-final of an FA Cup. Yes, we lost to that man Poirier, who bloody scored again for Chelsea, who kept scoring against us every time he pulled on a Chelsea shirt. But, that man had a lot of respect. And when he was sacked, I was very disappointed with Freddie Shepherd at the time, and I was an angry fan, put it that way. I like many of us would have been, especially when the next man came in. Godfather says, too many away shirts as well. Yeah, I've got to agree. I mean, 3 shirts is not very good, is it? Yeah. Well, we had 4 last season, didn't we? Because we had that one for Brighton. Foxy says, the price is poor, I agree, but that's how it is now. People will pay it, so they'll get it away with it, unfortunately. That's the thing, Foxy. Yeah, exactly. Daniela says, not bought a shirt in over 30 years. Wow. Morris says, keep up the good work, lads. Seems you're ruffling the feathers of some other poor and the quality NUFC channel. So horrific coming from someone who's worst in the North channel directed at year 1 PD show. Nah, that's absolutely fine, mate. No worries. Thank you very much indeed, Morris. And yeah, absolutely. We try and keep the channel as much as we can, as Newcastle, because that's what it is. We're Newcastle fans. And yeah, thank you for being on board as well. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, look, right. So, transfer rumours anyway. So, right, the first thing I'm going to bring up, and, this guy splits a lot of opinions with people. Now, the man's name, it's not Luke Edwards, by the way, Roly, before you think, oh, is this going to be a Luke Edwards thing? No, it's not Luke Edwards. It's Craig Hope. Now then, Craig Hope is... now, I like Craig Hope at times because I think he comes across as quite a nice journalist at times.
Yeah.
And I like when he does his little match vlogs. Apart from he makes me seasick the way he keeps walking up and down the bloody stand. I'm like, just for God's sake, sit down, mate, and just do your video, But yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, right, Craig Hope, Northeast journalist for the Daily Mail, comes out with what I say is a load of trollop, right? Now then, according to Craig Hope, in this transfer window, we only have £75 million to spend, plus any player sales that will generate any cash on top of that. Now then, Roly, and people in the chat as well, get your thoughts in on this. For one, where has he got that idea from that we've only got £75 million to spend? Has Eddie Howe told him that? Has Amanda Staveley told him? As Jamie Rubin told him. As Yasser Al Ramayan told him that. You know, the thing is, where's he got his information from? Because nobody, not one club, reveals their transfer budget. You could go right down to League Two, and you could go say to you could go to Wrexham and say to Ryan Reynolds, "How much is your transfer budget?" He's not going to tell you because no club tells you how much that transfer budget is. I mean, Roly, do you believe it's 75 million? Because I think that's a load of crap. In all honesty.
Well, what I think is that, I mean, I like Craig Hope, and I think he does talk a lot of sense when it comes to Newcastle and what's happening. I personally think he's been told that because to put other clubs off really hiking the fee. Because if you say we haven't got much money to spend, how it'll help to keep the prices down. I mean, because they said we only had about 40 or 50 to spend in the last window. It's all a case of how much we spend will be determined on who on our list is available and what price we can get them at. Because Alexander Isak last summer, he was one that we looked at, but was deemed too expensive.
Yeah.
And then after the Ekatike deal fell through, they started to look at it again, and they were able to do a deal. And I think our transfer budget is flexible. It could be 75, because especially if they're looking at some of the sort of cheaper options.
Mm-hmm.
If they're wanting someone like Maddison or Szoboszlai, that will eat most of it up in one go. And he did say he's looking for 2 or 3 elite players, which makes you think that the budget is going to be closer to 150.
Mm-hmm.
We could get 2 elite players and a couple of others with that. That gives us 4 or 5 in. But at the end of the day, the people who know what the budget are is Yasser Al Ramayan, Manda Stavely, Mirdad Gadusi, Jamie Rubin, Dan Ashworth, Darren Eales, Silverstone, and Eddie Howe. And maybe Mad Dog as well. They know what the actual budget is. I think it's more likely that's what they would like to keep the spending down to. But the way the PIF are, if a deal is there to be done, they will do it. Particularly for a player that's higher up our transfer list, our wish list.
Yeah. I mean, look, thing is, I don't think any of these journalists have an actual clue of what we have actually to spend. And the thing is, at the end of the day, do you know what's going to be funny, right? Is if we go out and spend money, say we spent, and I'm not saying this is how much we're spending, by the way, but I'm just saying if we went out there and spent £250 million this transfer window, that blows away. That makes Craig Hope look stupid by saying we've only got 75 million. So why on earth would you come out with a statement like that and say we've only got 75 million and we go out and spend 250 million? That would make you that makes you look like an idiot then, doesn't it?
Well, I think the thing you got to bear in mind on his side is he's reporting what is being told, which is his job. Now, if they just, it's the sort of thing that if we hadn't, I mean, you look at the summer, we spent, 35 on Botman, 10 on Pope, that's 40, and who else is it? Is it another 12 on Matt Target? So that takes us around about 50 million is what he said. That's what they thought they were going to spend. And then Isak comes along and we sort of double our spending. Because I think, as I said before, I think that the 75 is the sort of area they want to be at. But if, let's for example say that they talk that they're doing the business that they want to do, and then all of a sudden they talk to Napoli about Osimhen just to test the water for future windows. And then Napoli say, well, we'll take 70 million for him. They're going to do that deal. I think
Mm.
that's what happened with Isak. Because if you remember in the summer, we're after the Ekatike deal fell through, we're looking at so many of these young strikers in Europe. The guy that was at Salzburg, there's more that went to Southampton. They're looking at all these young up and coming strikers that weren't sort of like weren't necessarily first team ready at a big club. I think they looked at them for, yeah, this could do as a development project. And they thought, look, we'll just go back and see what Sociedad's position is on Isak. And the price had come down. So I mean, if you remember, the first thing we heard about the Isak deal was 24 hours before, sorry, 48 hours before the deal was done. We just heard that Nixon and Ashworth were in Spain talking to Real Sociedad. 48 hours later, he'd signed. And I think that's sort of how it will be. They'll be look at the business and they'll get a couple of maybe. I think a lot of it will depend on where they go shopping as well.
Yeah.
Because you're getting your English tax and the English tax, and then the Premier League tax and the Newcastle tax on top of that. So people still haven't got the message that you can't take us for mugs.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Roly, that's the thing. I mean, but like I say, no club reveals their transfer budget. Not one club does. Out of the 92 clubs in the whole of the Premier League and Football League, not one of them clubs will say, this is how much we have to spend, because they are not stupid, you know? Um, like, obviously, we've got rich owners, but you look at, so you go down to League Two and you've got Wrexham. They're run by Hollywood actor Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah,
and he's, film director. Now, the thing is, they've got a lot of money. And, Wrexham are probably going to be like a Man City of the League Two, because people know that Wrexham can throw the money around and get the players.
yeah,
Um, but they wouldn't ever reveal a budget, because if they revealed a budget, every time they go for a player, the price would shoot up. There'd be, so they would probably get the Wrexham tax as we get the Newcastle tax. But I agree with what you're saying, Roly. And the thing is, at the end of the day, nobody knows what it is, and we just have to wait and see what happens at the end of the day. Now, on on the 14th, the window opens, but that's domestic window only. The international window doesn't open until the 1st of July. So domestically in the United Kingdom, we can start signing players on the 14th. But on the 1st of July, we can't do, and we have to wait until then for doing international deals. That's when the international window opens. So, it's kind of one of them. The rumours are going to be flying around. Craig says the club probably told him to put that story out. Players down our budget and don't show our hands.
yeah,
Clubs do put out false stories. Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Godfather says 75 million's a joke, and these journalists believe it. Yeah, exactly. Holly says we need to be careful with fair play as well. I'm sure the thing is, Holly, I'm sure the club's got the top accountants. They've probably got the best accountants they could ever get. They're probably paying top dollar for these guys and girls. And what they're probably doing is they've probably looked at, done all the number crunching and everything, and they've said, look, technically, this is how much you can spend before you breach any FFP rules. So the club probably know all this, I would imagine. So, Gadis, I think you bang on. Craig knows as well as any of us that it's more than that. It's good for us project to lower our number before we begin our negotiating, as you say, not to limit demands. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
I
he
think
says
that's
also more chance at £75 million per target. I mean, look, Rory, there's a story coming out of L'Equipe, okay? That's the French newspaper.
lucky.
Um, So they're saying that this man on screen, Dominic Szoboszlai, we are ready to put a staggering offer in for him. Now then, we know his release clause is 70 million euros,
Yeah,
which
which about 65 million
60,
pounds.
yeah. So if we want to pay that in installments, we'd have to go above that. Because you can't pay a release clause in installments. You've got to pay that outright. But if you pay above it, like Chelsea did for Enzo Fernandez, then
I just had
you
a
pay for
thought.
it in installments. That's how Chelsea got away with it, because they didn't pay the release clause; they paid above it to get it in installments. So, and obviously putting it in a half-year contract down, so
Yeah,
it takes them nearly 8 years to pay it off, because they're not stupid, Chelsea. Well, they are stupid because they've spoilt the rules for everybody else. Now then, this is where it gets
I've just had a
interesting.
thought. If you'll indulge me for a moment, Tony.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Maybe that 75 million isn't the actual sum of the transfer. Maybe that's the 75 million is what they want as the financial fair play hit. So
Mm.
if you pay, let's say, 60 for Szoboszlai over 5 years, that's what's that? Is it five? What's that? 6 over 5 years is 12 million in that particular year. So you buy someone for 20 million, that's 4 million, and you can build it up. Maybe that's the financial fair play hit per year. They wanted 75 million because you could then get a Madison at 45, a Szoboszlai at 60, someone else at 60, because you've got 12, you got 8 million here as that year's financial fair play hit, or the yearly financial fair play hit. So you could buy 5 or 6 players with a financial fair play hit of 75 million, but obviously
Yeah.
the total fee would be bigger. I think because our guys are smart, because they know what they can do in FFP. We always look at the headline figure. Or he costs 70 million, he costs this, he costs that. But it's only a portion of that goes into the FFP calculation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like buying on hire purchase. They split it over the period of time that you're going to be paying it back.
Yeah.
So they're looking at the FFP headline, and we always think, 75 million, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know, I can't think of the top of my head the total of the transfers. How much did we spend in last summer? It's about 120, something like that.
I think so, Roly. I think so.
So
But
if it's 120 over 5 years, you're talking the financial fair play hit isn't that big.
yeah, I
Um,
mean,
which is the whole point of it.
yeah, I mean, going back to the French newspaper on Dominic Szoboszlai saying that we're ready to make a staggering offer for him. Now, the reason we are making that, obviously, we are going to make an offer for him, but also the other reason is Leipzig want this sorted out as well,
Yeah,
because they have their eye on another player.
yeah,
And the player they have their eye on is a player called Louis Openda. Now then, Louis Openda, what a player. What a player. He plays for RC Lens in France, Ligue 1. He's a Belgian. He's 23 years of age. I'll go through his stats and you can see exactly why Leipzig want this guy. He's a striker. His weaknesses are ball control and passing, but his strengths are high pressing. He's rated 22 million euros, but I think they want about 30 million for him. Now then, he started 29 to 38 games for RC Lens, and he's been in Team of the Week 5 times in Ligue 1. He's got 21 goals and 4 assists. I mean, look, they're not bad stats for Ligue 1, especially when
yeah.
you've got the likes of PSG and all that. I mean, look, he started Club Brugge, went to Vitesse Arnhem on loan, went back to Club Brugge. Then he signed for loans for 9.8 million last July. So as soon as we go in for Sabozlai, and if we are successful with whatever we put in front of Leipzig for him, Leipzig are then going to go and spend that money and go in and go and get a Pender. But loans don't want to sell a Pender, but they know that Leipzig are really, really hot on this guy and keen, and they know Leipzig are not going to give up, and that is the thing. I mean, look, they're not bad stats for a Pender. I would have a Pender. I tell you that now. He looks a class act. But I want Sabozlai. And I tell you what, if we got Madison as well, let's have them both. Why not, And I'm just going to jump into some comments and then I'm going to go on to my next target anyway. Wonky Donkey says, hi, Tony and Roly. I hope you're both well. Yeah, we're absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much. Alan says, afternoon, Tony and Roly. I think Eddie will surprise us all into transfer window. I'm sure they will do, yeah. Mark says, agree with Roly. Everyone reports what they've been told. Isn't the whole point of the transfer because we're being told by journalists who we're linked with? Absolutely. Daniela says, alternatively, Newcastle have a transfer budget of 100 million to 150 million from the summer from the Athletic. It was on the BBC Sports page. That could be more realistic, Daniela. Alan says, I would love to see Savic at Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, Milinkovic, Savic, that seems to have gone quiet. Yeah. Rumours on that. But again, it could just come out of the blue. Mark says, that said, I do think it's hypocritical to read that we only have 75 million to spend, yet we get subtly linked with Declan Rice, who's valued 100 plus million. Exactly, Mark. That's the thing. That's what really gets me, because I think, well, hang on. Where's this actually coming from? And how have these journalists got these ballpark figures? I would love to know where they get them from. I would love to have Craig Hope on here and ask him, can you tell me, Craig, where'd you get that 75 million from? Because I'd love to know, but I bet you wouldn't tell me. Wonky says, we'll spend as much as we have before and each window, more if required. However, once we have a good balanced side, there's no need to spend huge. Right now, we are catching up. Exactly. Yep. That's the thing. We are catching up. I mean, look, the other night, Man City are a different breed, right? They got in before FFP came in. And yes, they spent a lot of money. But to catch up to them, we can't just go out and spend that sort of money. And we've got to be careful how we spend it. So it's a slow process. But the thing is, once we get there, we're going to be flying. Alan says, how is Liverpool sign McAllister when the window is not open? Well, they've paid his release clause, Alan. That's the thing. And although they can technically sign him, they can't register him until next Wednesday. Wonky says, Craig Hope's a bright enough man. I think his spend prediction was him playing some game maybe for the club. It's no biggie. I don't know why people get stressed over it. I trust the club. Yeah, absolutely, Wonky Donkey. Definitely. But I just thought, well, where's he getting 75 million? Jake says 300 million. Let's hope, Jake. That would be lovely. Daniela says, can we stop the English tax crap? We are the rich league in the world and we should have to pay more and that. It's funny that it's only Rice, that club, that cry English tax. I mean, the thing is, look, Declan Rice is a quality player. Let's be honest. He really is quality. I would love him at Newcastle. One, I think the main reason he wouldn't come is because I think he wants to stay in London because that's where his family's based, which is understandable. Two, I think not only the transfer fee is high, but I think his wages would be high as well. So I can see Declan Rice going to Arsenal in all honesty. Definitely not coming northeast. Wonky says, not officially, but can't put pen to paper or announce till the 14th. Yeah, exactly what I said. Leaves the boss line and go out for Vega, says, how are the lads? Okay, that's a strange one, but yeah. Wonky says, majority English players have always a bigger fee, though. It's just the way it's been. I can only put it down to Premier League experience, which is really... I mean, look, let's be real here. Southampton, they want £52 million for a player who is nearly 29-year-old and James Ward-Prowse. A man who can score only from free kicks and take corners. But they want somebody to pay £52 million for his privilege. I mean, not being funny. Southampton have been relegated. they're in no fit state to turn around and say they demand £52 million for Ward Prowse. And who's going to pay £52 million for him? Oh, hang on, Chelsea would, but are they going to buy him? I doubt it.
The
But
thing with Ward
again,
Prowse is he won't go for 52 million because
no,
he'll be at Southampton towards the beginning of the season, and then they know they've got to shift him. As we get closer to the start of the season, the price will come down because they need to shift him.
Wonky Donkey says, "What's your poison today? It's only a pint of Mackham's tears." Have you heard that the Mackhams are moaned about fans wearing tune tops at the Sam Fender gig? How effing sad are they? I mean, look, we know what the Mackhams are like. We know it's not Mackham Tears, by the way. It's called Star of Prom. It's from Prague, actually. It's a drink from Prague. I went to York and I had it in the pub that I was staying at, and because I was looking at the lagers and I'm thinking, no, there's nothing there. I'm not really a Carlin lager drinker. So I said, what's that like? And she said, oh, it's nice. And I thought, oh, go on, and I'll try it. And I tried it, and I was like, oh, I'm hooked on that. So I went and bought some from Alistair, other supermarkets available, of course. But yeah, and no, I absolutely love that. But no, it's definitely not Mackham's Tears. I wouldn't be drinking them, that's for sure. Oh, no, thank you. But yeah, that's what that is. Staro Pramen. So yeah. He must be a good player. Okay, Alan says FFP. What about Chelsea, or does it not apply to them? Thing with Chelsea is, though, again, their funds were generated in the club, and their club is built up. But because our former owner, who is supposed to be a businessman, by the way, and he's supposed to be a businessman, and he's supposed to have a clever head on his shoulders. Well, he can't be that clever if he didn't bring in sponsors to help generate funds into the club. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Craig says, don't worry about the budget. Everyone goes over. No one goes under. Well, we know what Everton's done, don't we? And they're getting away with it. But we wouldn't. A. Gadius says, also, along with the two sponsors we have gained in the last week, rumours are there are more coming. I'm guessing dental implants and a health guru. Do you know what it is? We could do what Man City have done. They've got about 100 of these £1 million a season sponsors, which don't have to need Premier League approval. You can just sign them straight in. And that's £100 million a year generating to your club. Daniela says, cry English. All right, okay. Talking to Wonky Donkey. Igadia says, yeah, maybe 75 is before sponsorships are considered. I'd be inclined to believe that far more. It's actually fairly reasonable if we are getting more in. Yeah, absolutely. Who was the bright spark who started FFP?
Well, basically, FFP was brought in as the guise to stop clubs overspending, but it was brought in to keep the so-called big six at the top because they've got more revenue. I mean, because of where they've been and their fan bases. If you restrict other clubs to only spending what they bring in as revenue, you stop another. They think they'll stop another Manchester City, which is what FFP was brought in to do. The goal is to keep clubs sustainable. Right, maybe in the Championship and the Football League it was, but in the Premier League, it was to stop there being another Manchester City. It's pure and simple.
Yeah. Daniela saying to Wonky Donkey, it was a great night and you'll have them soon, but let us win the Europa first. I mean, yeah, do you know what it is, Daniela? As I said the other night, fantastic West Ham won it. A shame in minority of fans throwing stuff, and making the player bleed. But you know what it is? At least to calm down after that, after the players went over and pleaded for them to calm down, which was absolutely fantastic, by the way. But yeah, I know a lot of people have called this Conference League and Mickey Mouse Cup, but at the end of the day, it's a trophy. I'm not being funny. If we went out and won that trophy, I would be, I wouldn't care I don't care if it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's a trophy. It's a major trophy. It's a European trophy, and to get a European trophy is special. So, and there's not often you get them in your career. So for them lads on Wednesday to get a European medal, it's just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, if people want to call it Mickey Mouse League, that's fair enough. Yes, some of the teams in there might not be great teams, but it doesn't matter. It's about winning the thing. And you went out and you won it. And you won it in style, because if you want to score a winner, you do it the way Jared Bourne done it, and you scored in the 90th minute, and then you stuff the opposition up. Doesn't matter how much that referee added time on, I don't think they would have scored another goal against West Ham, in all honesty. So yeah, well done, West Ham. Oh God, even Schofield wouldn't. Wonky Donkey says you can win it anyway. We'll be shocking in the world winning We'll be shocking the world winning the Champions League. Well, yeah, that would be nice, but I don't think we'll win it next season, Wonky Donkey. But I know what you're saying. You've got to be in it to win it, and that's exactly what we are. We're in it to win it, but I don't expect us to win it. If we got out the group and got the next round, then got knocked out, I would look at that as a success, because we ain't been in the Champions League for over 20 years, and if we get a group and we get out of it and we get the next round, we don't get past that round, I won't be disappointed. I'll be like, do you know what? Well done, lads, because one, you got out the group, and two, you got to the next round. So yeah. If it's worst case scenario, we take third place as one of the best third place teams, and we drop into the Europa League. So yeah, and have a playoff. Mighty Max says, hi Tony and Roly, I got the Toon Top for $59.50 on Castore site. Microsoft Edge voucher work. Just hope it turns up before Christmas. Oh, well done, Mighty Mag. Well done.
So you got a Microsoft voucher.
Some fans were throwing things that's exclusive to West Ham fans. We've seen a lot of that in Europe, but they did stop one Declan Rice appeal to them. Canny shot with the vape though. Well, yeah. Wonky Donkey, let's say the Champions League, a close shot between two real Barcelona, Liverpool, Man City, Man U, and Bayern Munich and the Milan teams. I bet you a pint of Strum and Tony. That's Andrew Wonky Donkey. Alan says, watched a few minutes of Mark Goldbridge today, saying now our sponsorship is only half that of other big six. Do you know what it is? That man, I don't even bother listening to him, to be honest, Alan. I just don't bother listening to that man at all.
Yeah, I mean that I did listen to that, saying it's basically emphasising we're playing catch up, and that there's no reason for the sponsorship deal to be turned down, because it's sort of like 15 million less than Arsenal and Spurs, and it's half of Liverpool's. And it's almost nearly about a third of Man City's. I think that was the point he was making. Yeah, it's a bit of wow.
It's a bit of one of those, isn't it? I mean, look, right. So, next player keeps getting talked about is this man, James Maddison. Here we go again. So, apparently Sam Allardyce and Tim Sherwood have offered their conflicting views when it's come to the subject of Maddison's future. Now, obviously, Allardyce has left Leeds United after failing to keep them in the Premier League. Now then, according to Allardyce, he says, I think he'll go to Tottenham. Allardyce says, it's a lovely deal that Daniel Levy can do, and he'll be rubbing his hands to keep him fit. Hope he improves the Tottenham team. So Allardyce thinks he'll go to Tottenham. Now then, if James Maddison has got hopes of playing in European football, then why the hell is he going to go to Tottenham for, when he could go to a club that's got European football? More importantly, a club who's got Champions League football. Tim Sherwood, on the other hand, thinks he'll come to Newcastle. So, I mean, look, this is an ongoing saga. And I would like the saga to be sorted out one way or the other. Either he comes to us or he doesn't. Let's just get it done. If he comes to us, fantastic. We'll be happy. If he doesn't, fair enough. We move on to another target, Roly. I know we've had this going on since last summer. You know, Leicester wouldn't sell. Then obviously they wouldn't sell in January. Now they won't. You know, they're going to have to sell this summer. I mean, Roly, where's he ending up? Is he coming to us or is he going to Tottenham? Or is it a backward step, Tottenham?
I think Tottenham for him is a sideways step because he wants to be playing in Europe and ideally want to be playing in the Champions League. I think the problem that what Leicester are holding out for is a bidding war. They want to encourage a bidding war, and I don't think we're going to offer them more than we did last summer. And if they don't accept that, we'll move on to the next target.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Spurs, it's not only that they're a bit of a mess. Is Harry Kane still going to be there?
That's a question, Roly. I mean, is he? If Real Madrid are wanting Harry Kane, do you think he's staying at Tottenham? I don't think he is. Sorry. I think he's gone because Levy's already said he is not selling Kane to another Premier League team. So if Kane wants to leave, he's going abroad.
That'd be great because it means that if he's over there for 4 years, Alan Shearer will still have the Premier League goal scoring record.
Absolutely.
Or as the great man said, we should buy him and stick him on the bench so he doesn't break his record.
Explore Northeast Neath says, get him signed. We've talked about signing him for a few years. Get him in the team. Absolutely. Wouldn't go above 40 million for Maddison. No, definitely not. No, not when he's only got 12 months under a championship team.
And not just
you'd
that.
want his sub 1 million. Daniela says Goldbridge got so much egg on his face over the sale and other things. Well, this is it. This Man United saga, this is absolutely fantastic. It's funny to watch because, first of all, you've got the Qataris wanting to buy it. Then they put an improved offer in, which they said had a deadline of Friday. We still haven't heard anything from them, to say what's happening. And the thing is, what makes it great is I think, do you know what I think in all honesty? And I'm going to absolutely love it if they do. And I'm going to look forward to the meltdown that goes on Twitter, on social media, when the Glazers turn around and say, guess what? We ain't selling. We are staying. We are here for the long haul. And you know what? We're going to be reveling in it, Roly, because the thing is, if them Glazers are staying here for the long haul, them Man U fans will be crying. And in these paint grasses, you'll have Man U tears. Never mind Mackham tears. There'll be a huge meltdown at Old Trafford, won't there?
Yeah, they will. And John will be crying in his beer. Oh, he doesn't drink, so he'll be crying in his lemonade.
The lad says, don't want the seller firm doing to us what they've done in the Italian Cup. I don't know what they've done with the Italian Super Cup. Daniela says, wonky donkey, we want a seed as a seed and it increases the chances of 5 English clubs in the next season's Champions League.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think. I mean, West Ham winning does help. I think that we are due for 5 Champions League spots next season. Mm-hmm. So, I think when you look at the last few seasons, this season we got was it 2 finalists? One's actually won it. We got a couple into the. We've got 3 out of the 4 English clubs going into the knockout stages. If Man City win it, we've got a good coefficient, so we should get the extra Champions League spot.
Yeah, I love Alan's comment there. Allardyce wants to pack football in all together and register in a care home for God. Yeah, I'll happily wheel him there in a wheelchair. Maddison or Miggy on the right says Godfather. Miggy on the right, I think Maddison more in centre midfield. Alan says, and hopefully Glazers stay. Jordan thinks last offer not enough. What is enough for the Glazers? That's the thing.
Well, basically, what is enough for the Glazers is your last offer plus 30%.
Billy says perhaps Sheikh Sinclair will put a bid for his favourite team. Has he got that much money, Billy? Has he? Brilliant, Billy. Love it. Howie the lad says, "Go forward. Don't want to see Miggy on the right unless it's on the bench." Yeah. Don't know, Wonky Donkey. Allardyce can afford his care home. Let's just say it. Yeah, absolutely. Much behind closed doors, says Wonky Donkey. Right, now then, another player we're being linked with. And look, I know you said the other night, you and Kyle, you're a bit like skeptical about this player. Right, there he is. Carlos Alcaraz of Southampton. Right, now then, Southampton have been relegated.
Yeah.
And the guy's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Very good midfielder, in fact. Now then, yes, he scored 4 goals and registered a couple of assists. But the thing is, he must have been ill-advised by his agency to go and sign for Southampton. Southampton were in all sorts of trouble by the time he signed in January. And not only that, they were on the third manager of the season as well, in Ruben Selles, who really is not a manager and might be a great coach, but he's certainly not a great manager. And look, apparently we've looked at him, but Southampton won 25 million for him. And they've got every right to ask for that money. The reason they've got every right to ask for that money is he's got a contract until 2027. So Southampton are not under pressure to sell. Now, there's some reports going around saying he does want to leave Southampton and he wants to try and help them get back to the Premier League. Now, if he does, I'll say fair play to the lad. That's well done. But if there was a chance, Roly, that he comes to Newcastle, he's only 20 years of age, and Foxy's already had his say about him. This lad ain't no mug. And the thing is, we've seen what Eddie Howe does with players, how he gets that extra 10% out of players. And with this lad only being 20 years of age, Eddie Howe could get the extra 10% out of him, no problem whatsoever. And I think, if he did come for, say, 25 million, it could turn out to be a snip. Could be a flop. Who knows? But we wouldn't know unless he was playing for our club. Right, Roly, your take. Carlos Alcaraz.
I'm not convinced. But then again, I'm not a scout and don't work for the club. If the club want him, I'll bow to their superior knowledge, but it's not for me. I'm not. As I said last time, of the Southampton midfielders, I'd rather have Lavia.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I'm not convinced with Alcaraz.
Yeah.
They may have scored 4 goals, which this is not bad. But even the worst teams in the Premier League score goals. Someone's got to score them. But as Kyle said, sometimes in a bad team, a player stands out.
Yeah.
Which I think Lavia does, not Alcaraz, and he's playing in a bad team. It's one of those, as I've said before, in a good player and mediocre company looks outstanding. When he's just a good player, not great. I probably haven't seen enough of him, but I've just not. It just doesn't do it for me. But again, if the club are in for him, they've obviously would have done their due diligence, done all the scouting, watched all the film, which obviously I haven't done. And we'll see something that they feel that they can develop. And if they can get him at the right price, they will. It doesn't do it for me. If we sign him, yeah, I'll be fully behind him, but I don't think he's the answer for what we need. I mean, if we're paying 25 million for him, we might as well pay an extra 10 and get someone like Manu Kone in.
Yeah, it's just a link, Roly. It's not to say
that
we're actually.
I know.
But then if he wants to stay with Southampton and help them get up, I say that's fair play to the lad. And I would say, do you know what? that's brilliant because
You probably
you don't
learn
get many
more.
players when the team goes down saying I'll stay and help you get back up.
I
We've
mean,
seen too many players bolt as soon as
uh,
once you shut the stable door and the horse is bolted, players want to go.
but it's one of
Second
those
nature.
things that sometimes, especially for a young lad, going down to the championship might actually help his career if he wants to stay, because he'll be one of the better players in that league. And if he helps Southampton, I mean, if Southampton do well, he'll get used to winning.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying the guy's a bad player. I just don't think he's the answer for what we need. And if you're looking at his type of midfielder, I'd rather have Lavia than him. But say the club no. I have full faith in Eddie, Dan Ashworth, and the scouting team because they've not put a foot wrong yet. So if they want him, and this isn't just a link that some journalist has thought out, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. But as I said, it wouldn't be my. I think there are better options out there.
Yeah, I see where you come from on that one, Rory. But I mean, if the lad wants to stay there and help Southampton, then that's fair play to him. I mean,
Yeah, it's good on him. It does.
Whether Southampton do bounce back remains to be seen. And we shall see.
Yeah, they've got 48
Right.
games to get through first.
Yeah, let's dip into some comments. Alan says, I think if the Sheikh takes them over, he will spend like mad bigger FFP for them than the income they have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Howie the lad says, I like Alcaraz, good player. Daniela says, I don't think the Glazers sell. Alan says, there's kids from the other side of the world, only 20, done good. I would take him straight away. Good round of games. Has Alcaraz 4 goals and knows fab in that team. That was such a few games, yeah. You only need to meet the 12 million Alcaraz cost the Saints had. Yeah, but they won 25 million. Yeah, how'd you get 25 million, says Alan. Apparently it's what Southampton are asking for. Go in the championship and tears it up, he will cost even more then. Yeah, absolutely. Is it Marnie who left Scunpool to buy and can't just imagine Qual or his Ugandan lad or any other young kids was singing. Also, the kid who was 14 could be the next Marnie. Trust the process, lads and lasses. Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
And talking of the process, obviously we just signed this young kid.
Mick Mills.
Mick Mills.
Michael Mills.
We've got another young kid that's already on the books that plays in midfield. Lewis Miley.
Yeah.
When he came on against Chelsea, looked right at home in the first team. So again, you've got to think about peak players that are already at the young players that are already at the club. Has this Alcaraz got more potential than Miley? They'll be thinking about all this as well because of the cost. Because I mean, I forget which game it was that they had an interview with Dan Ashworth before, and he's saying the model of the clubs, we can't be buying £100 million players every season because it's not sustainable. So we've got to
Roly, breaking news from Manchester.
What?
And not from City either, from Manchester United.
Uh-huh.
The ownership has come up with the funds and they have a new owner ready to come in.
Okay.
I'll share it on screen. There you go. Shaking back. Put the freshness back. There you go. Man U's new shaking town. Yes, it's shaking back. Let's put the freshness back. Yeah, I thought you'd like that one, Roly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry if I've upset any Man U fans.
Yeah. I think if you've noticed what we've been doing over the last few windows is we've been preparing for the future, buying young young players. Garan Kowal's one. Alex Murphy. There's a few that we bought last summer. Bought the goalkeeper. We've got this Michael Mills. I'm sure there'll be other sort of 18 year olds or younger coming into the club, because that's the way. That's one of the ways you battle FFP, because it's going to take us a while to get the revenue that Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool have got.
Yeah,
which just holds us back. But if we can sort of follow the sort of Brighton model, get all these great kids in, and then we can develop them up. And because we don't need to sell, we can keep them at the club. I mean, under previous regimes, and not just the last one, but before that, all our good youngsters got snapped up. It's been something that's happened at the club for decades. You get a good player, like getting. I can remember as far back as Alan Kennedy playing at. Was he right back? And then going to Liverpool. Terry McDermott going to Liverpool. Peter Beardsley going to Liverpool. Gazza going to Spurs, and Chris Waddle going to Spurs. We develop all these great players, and they go somewhere else. Now that won't happen because they can see what's happening at the club. Now, I bet Bobby Clark just wished that takeover had gone through when it was supposed to go through, because he'd have stayed at the club. So it's just unfortunate, but he'll be the last talented youngster that leaves the club, unless the club don't want him.
I mean, Tanji says he's ordered his tune top this morning from NUFC store. Well done, mate. Just waiting for the Sabos light to sign, then get the lettering done in the future. Yeah, I mean, look, we know what it's like with names. I mean, some of these names are just, I think the longest name we've ever had in football. I mean, that was, obviously, Asim Belonga, who plays for Watford, he had the long name, didn't he? But
wasn't it Papa?
Venegor of Hesseling.
Yeah, wasn't Papa Vasilou quite a lot? That was quite a long one as well. But
that was quite a long one. Yeah, that was a hell of a long name. Yeah. Mikos. Yeah, great. Good player, though. Good little player.
Papa Vasilou.
Billy says, bloody hell, I thought you said we say Mick Mills, he's pushing 80. Well, Mick doesn't matter, does it? It's still the same, isn't it? But it's not the same player. It's not the Mick Mills, though, no.
Well,
jeez. Get him in the wheelchair on the pitch.
Yeah, he must be pushing 80. It would be in his mid to late 70s, I thought.
I mean, the lad says, don't have to think about players at the club if they aren't good enough. Onwards and upwards like the Brighton have done, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonky says, totally agree with Roly. Miley looked really relaxed and that great signing only. And any player, he looks tall for a young lad. Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is big, Dad.
First tune top he's ordered since 2010 because of that fat cockney bastard. And we will say that on here because that is exactly what that man is. He's a leech.
Have you seen any clips of Lewis Miley play, other than the Chelsea? I've seen a few on.
I've not looked really, Roly, to be fair, but I mean, seeing him against Chelsea, he looked really good and comfortable on the ball.
I've seen some of the montages playing for the under-20s, I think it was, or under-21s. Obviously, he was 16 at the time. Looked pretty much the best player on the pitch.
Wonky says, truth is, Bruce has sold his shares in the kebab shops to buy manure. Billy says, shaking back, rocking the yellow and green there. Yeah, exactly, Billy. Charlie MacArthur came in last year and got an injury, though. Yeah. Wonky says, I ordered me dad the new shirt earlier for Father's Day. Let's hope it doesn't arrive in 2024. No, I'm sure it will. Well, it's coming by every is Hermes. Well, no, it's Hermes just because it changed their name to look better. So people don't have that stigma of Hermes, but that's still every. I mean, it might get delivered, Andrew. You know, it might get delivered, but it could be over the garden fence. It could be in next door's garden. It could be on the roof. They put them anywhere. So just, have a good look around, because it might be in an unusual place that you probably never thought of looking, because they just chuck stuff around. So yeah, just make sure you can find it first. It might take you till 2024 to find it. They might say it's in the garden, but where in the garden? Could be anywhere. Could be in the hedgerow. Wonky says, didn't order myself one. No ear holes, eat all. Kamoa says, Southampton doubling the money on Alcaraz so quickly, even with relegation. I don't like that, but he impressed every time we played them. Yeah, he did. He looked great against us. I thought he looked really good, yeah. See that you think, Tangi. I don't hold back. Wonky says, Miley come on when I was at Rio game with my dad. Miley looking a kid, lol. Yeah. Daniela says, first time I remember Newcastle, I was going on a football holiday at Butlins, and it was the FA Cup final. Newcastle versus Liverpool. That was 73 or 74. Wow. I mean, gosh. I was around, but I was only about 1 or 2 year old. I was born in 72, so in 73 I'd only been a year old.
6 or 7 then. So I wasn't really
older.
I wasn't into football at that point because I was living in Buckinghamshire at the time.
Alan says Sam Fender's concert blasting away again alive next to the stadium, so you have to shut the window too loud. Fans singing till 11 last night. Absolutely brilliant, Alan, isn't it though? But do you know what? It's great. It's great to have a local guy on the stage. I wonder if he's going to wear the Newcastle shirt tonight on his concert. Andrew and Monkey Donkey was as loud as the two of her have been. Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic. And the thing is, with Seller on board, they can help us get more events organised as well. So it's all good news. Right, Roly, I'm going to come to the next player now. Now then, this player is linked with us. And the links are a little bit stronger. And I'll just go to Wonky's comments. Tanji says, football fixtures released this week. Exciting times. Yes. Yeah. Thursday, 9 a.m. Wonky says, these cans of San Miguel taste lush in the sun. Do you know what? When they're cold, anything that's cold and wet goes down. Even if it's a bottle of water, it's cold, it's wet, and it goes down. And the lad says, I love us to sign Gyökeres as backup to us and play strong like Carl, and also scores goals better than a Chris Wood as a backup. Yeah, I see where you're coming from on that one. I think somebody said he might be off to Italy, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I hope we play our first game away just so we can finish at home for a change. Yeah, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would be lovely, wouldn't it? But,
yeah, it'd be lovely to finish the season at home, parading, so we get that guard of honour as we win the Premier League.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice dream. It's a dream at the moment, but it will become reality.
Yeah, absolutely, Roly, absolutely. I mean, look, supposedly we are now looking at an alternative left back to Kieran Tierney, and the strong links are coming up on this guy, Borna Sosa.
Yeah,
so Borna Sosa, who plays for VfB Stuttgart in Germany, is a left back of Croatian nationality. He is 25 years of age, 6'2". Obviously prefers to play with his left foot, being left back. Obviously, he's played in the Nations League for Croatia. He started 2 out of 3 games, scored 1 goal for them in that as well from a left back position. I don't know why it came up with that, because I don't really want to know the Nations League. I want to know what's happening in the Bundesliga. So in the Bundesliga, he started 22 out of 25 games played. He was in Team of the Week for 5 times in the season. He's got 2 goals and 7 assists. Now, for a left back, that ain't bad at all. I'll take 7 assists all season from a left back because that's great to see. His crossing ability is accurate crosses are 31% per game. Accurate passing per game is 82% for a left back, which ain't bad again. And he's been involved with 1 clean sheet this season. And he's had 5 yellow cards all season. So, I mean, look, Roly, he doesn't seem a bad enough player. He looks pretty good, to be in all
Yeah.
honesty. I mean, you're probably talking about what you maybe pick him up for about 25 million, I reckon. I mean, SofaScore are saying he's valuation's 13.7 million euros. I think you probably even 20 million you could get him for. Look, um, he's 25 and 140 days here, 25 years of age and 140 days. He's born in Zagreb in Croatia. Um, Now, according to FBref, his weekly wages are €12,308 per week, and he's
Oh,
contracted till 2025. So, would you take him, Roly?
yeah, I thought he had a really good World Cup. I did watch him because we'd been linked to him before. Um, he seems a solid defender. I say his attacking stats are good. They sort of mesh quite well with Trippier on the right hand side with the assists. So it'd be good to have fullbacks that can create on both sides of the pitch. Now, I think he's coming back into the reckoning because Arsenal are looking to up their price for Tierney. But
Mm.
yeah, he'd be a decent age, just getting ready to enter his prime. He's not Premier League proven, but he's playing in one of the better leagues in Europe, one of the best leagues in Europe, one of the top four leagues. So yeah, so if the club want him, I think we can get him at a better price than we can get Tierney.
I mean, the thing is, similar players to Bona Sosa, and two of them are in the Premier League, um, and both play for the same club, believe it or not. Alexander Arnold and Andy Robertson. But also other players that are similar to Bona Sosa are the likes of Yori Alba, Cristiano Baraghi, who we saw for Fiorentina against West Ham. Don't think we would go for him because he's at that age now where he's 30-year-old. Um, Valentino Lazaro, Rafael Guerrero. Now, Howie the lads mentioned that earlier about Guerrero, and he's going to Bayern Munich from Dortmund,
Yeah,
and he thinks we've missed out on him. I mean, look, I see what you mean. Um, but yeah, maybe maybe we were looking at him, but yeah, I've not really seen a lot of Guerrero. But do you know much about him, Roly?
Guerrero, no, I don't know. Oh, hang on a sec. I'll be back with you in a tick. Just gonna have to.
Okay, mate, no worries. Okay, right, let's go to some comments while I wait for Roly. Um, Say what you think, Tangi. Don't hold back, says Tangi. Absolutely not. Miley came on when. Oh yeah, we saw that comment. Yeah, and that one as well. Howie the lad says, I'd love us to sing. Oh yeah, we know that one. Where sorry, I'm just trying to catch up where we were at. Yeah, let's hope we play the first away game of the season. Alan says concerts at the stadium level seems more interested in that at Spuds. Yeah, Spurs, they've got their ground for NFL and all that, and it just doesn't do it for me. And then it's all right when you fly over from it. You know, if you fly over Spurs ground, you just look down, you think, fuck, that's a giant toilet, isn't it? Wonky says, I forgot to say, have you seen the Fender gig vid taken from the stage? A massive crowd singing Hey Jude. Got me emotional, so proud. I've seen a few. I saw the Local Hero and I saw the, coming home from Local Hero. The Champions League tune played as well. Absolutely brilliant. Billy saying Gyökeres maybe going to Sporting Lisbon. That's where I heard Billy. Sorry, not Italy, Portugal. I'd love the FA Cup. I don't see us winning the league for a long time. Bona Sosa, his delivery is stunning and is international at every level. Yeah, he is, absolutely. It wouldn't cost the earth either. Billy says, so Bona sausage and Pete's food pics last night. I'd make him shave his 90s curtains hairdo before he signed for us, says Wonky Donkey. Alan says, thought Ashby was Trippier replacement in the future. Yeah, but Bona Sosa's left back, isn't he? So we're looking for a left back, aren't we? Definitely a backdoor boy's haircut, says Billy. Loz says Alan. Sorry. Gordon says, what's his name? Bona Sosa. There you go, Alan. Gordon, sorry. Daniela says, best sunshine drink is ice cream and cream soda with some brandy in it. Okay, a lot of brandy in it. Oh, okay. Hey, Daniela's coming out with tips now. Look, have an ice cream, put some cream soda in with some brandy. Do you know what? I don't drink brandy, but you know what? I might give that a go. I might get a little bottle of brandy and give that a shot. Why not? Sounds nice, as refreshing. Alan says, I like him. Clips I've seen, he looks a good player. Yeah, absolutely, Alan.
I watched him in the World Cup, because I think he's one of the players that we were linked with potentially for January. So I did point to watch him when Croatia are playing.
Wonky says, oh man, that drink sounds orgasmic. And Daniela says it is. Wonky says, do it in pints, yes, Daniela. Tangi says, any player we sign, everyone knows with Eddie Howe and Mad Dog Tyndall, we'll improve them by 10 to 50%. Absolutely, Tangi. That's the thing. The thing is, I'm sure players are looking at our project and thinking, hang on a minute. Hang on. They were relegation candidates the season before. They were in the bottom three. They've stayed up. But not only have they stayed up, the following season have claimed the Champions League, and they must be thinking, hang on a minute, I want a piece of that now. And I bet there's players out there who are thinking that, I want a piece of this. And why not? And Daniela says, always, I'd have Guerrero as DM. Yeah, but he's going to Munich. Tierney has played under Howe before. I'll say that makes him favourite.
It all depends on what Arsenal want for him.
Just as injuries are concerning. Apparently, Arsenal fans said he's not really injury prone, but I don't know.
I mean, he's had one. I think he's had one bad injury, but he's not been playing this season because of Zinchenko's been playing. That's not been out for injury.
Yeah, that was Tangi local hero they did last night was outstanding, brilliant. Sosa looks like Jonathan Ross. Do you think he looks like Jonathan Ross?
I just hope he doesn't play like him.
Yeah, needs to get his haircut though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a 90s boy band haircut, isn't it? Or Was, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, Jonathan Was, and, we've got Roy Hodgson or Roy Hodgson, Roy. You can put whiskey in it or whatever you like, says Daniela. I've got a little bottle of whiskey in the cupboard and I've got some ice cream in the fridge. Foxy says, I'll probably take Milos Kirkes at left back ahead of Sosa. Kirkes impressed me in most in Europe this season. Good assists and goals as well. Oh, that's interesting there, Foxy. I'm going to have a look at him now then. Milos Kirkos. Let's have a look. Right, guys. Well, I'll type his name in here. Kirkos. Let's have a look at his stats. There we go. He plays for AZ Alkmaar. So, Daniela is a West Ham fan. Would have probably, if she's, she would have seen this player. Milos Kirkes, he's Hungarian. He's 19 years of age, so he's only young. 5'9". His player value is 10.3 million euros. Strengths are his ground jewels. He's got no outstanding weaknesses at all. So that's a good start as well. Right. Further on, let's have a look at these stats. We don't want to look at the European qualifiers. We want to look at Eredivisie. There we go, Eredivisie. So, he's played 33 out of 33 in Eredivisie. He's been in Team of the Week twice. He scored 3 goals and he's got 1 assist. His accurate passing per game is 83%, with 24% of accurate crosses as well, which isn't bad. He's been involved with 6 clean sheets and he's had 4 yellow cards in 33 games. Do you know what, Foxy? I like the sound of that. Milos Kirkes. I mean, what's he on a week? He's on, well, it doesn't see what his wages are. He's got a contract with 2026, so he's still got 3 years left on his deal. I mean, look, he sounds all right. I mean, look, what do you think of those stats?
Well, the stats are good,
Roly,
but you need to see
for a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. The stats look good, but as I said before, you've got to see him play.
Exactly.
The stats are part of it.
Yeah.
But does he look the part when he's actually playing? And does he fit into what we want to do as a team? Have you just seen Billy's comment?
Oh, I'm going to cut that now. Buddy Wishes says, how are the lads? Billy says, Jonathan Russell's caught shoplifting kitchen implements from B&Q. He said it was a risk he was willing to take. Oh, Billy, honestly, bloody hell. Tagged you on that vid, Tony. Thank you very much. Daniela says, yes, he was good. Keres was a handful. I would like him at West Ham replacing Cresswell. There we go. So playing against English teams as well, and he's impressed as well. So that's a good sign as well, Roly, because you're up against the Premier League side.
Yeah, but the thing is, our scouting network would have done their homework on him, and if they're impressed with what they've seen, he'll be on our list. The stats look good. I've not seen him play, so haven't had the eye test on him, which is always something you need to do, because I mean, it's like you have a striker that scores, it's like, let's say he scores 12 goals a season, which is great, but if they're all penalties, it's great they can score penalties, but where are the other goals?
Yeah.
So you can't just use the stats alone, because they only tell part of the story. You need to actually see them.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we have scouts to go out. I'm just sitting here by a computer talking about someone I know nothing about.
Yeah. Daniela says you can't go for everyone. Absolutely, you can't.
Yeah.
No, definitely agree with that one. But the thing is, we've just got to trust the process, and at the end of the day, whoever comes in, we back them. Simple as. And Daniela says, "Can you?" Howie the lad says, just seen João Palhinha could go from Fulham if release clause is met. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I mean, I think they're waiting to see if anybody takes up the offer of taking of João Palhinha. I mean, he's had a good season for Fulham as well. He's not a bad player. I mean, what do you rate him?
He's decent. He's had a good season at Fulham. Whether I want him at Newcastle, I don't know. I'll leave that to wiser heads than me. But he's Premier League proven, and he's a good player. So you're halfway there. Now it's a case of how he'd fit into our team and how he'd fit into our dressing room, which is the stuff that the transfer team look into. Ashworth and Howe and Mad Dog.
Yeah, definitely. But so we shall see on that one. And he says, holding MD more tackles in the Prem. Yeah. Holding defensive midfielder in the Prem as well. Yeah, he is. He's played well last season.
Yeah, he did have a good season.
Danielle says, who don't you want at your club? That's been linked. Man U of 2, Maguire, McTominay. Don't want Definitely don't want Maguire. He can go to Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, look, Tottenham Hotspur, before the new manager come in, Daniel Levy went and gave Eric Dyer a new 3-year contract because he said Dyer is a super defender and he can't afford to lose him.
Yeah,
And I'm like, hang on, Daniel Levy, are you actually having a laugh here? Eric Dyer is a great defender.
it's more
I
like a
think he needs to go
diabolical.
back. I think he needs to go back to Specsavers and get his eyes retested because something's surely gone wrong. You know, he must have
It's
been
been,
watching Eric Dyer in a different life.
I mean, Eric Dyer's been diabolical this season.
Absolutely, Roly. Diabolical. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I'm. Wonky says, yeah, Maguire would be like signing Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean, look, I was on Pete Shaw last night, by the way, guys and girls, on his football thing. And
Yeah.
somebody came on the chat, had a bit of a pop at me, because I had a joke about John Sinclair. Now, look, thing is, right? And look, I've told John this many a times. Roly's told him. A lot of people have told John. Um, but John wonders why people call him a Red when he is a Newcastle fan, but they call him a Red because he tags all these Manchester United mates in on a Friday on tweet and calls it Fabulous Friday. And then he wonders why he gets that name of the Red. And I'm not having to go at John, by the way, in any mean shape or form. So if John is watching this, I'm not having to go at John whatsoever. But all I'm trying to say is there was no need for that guy to come on last night and basically have a dig at me on somebody else's channel. And, I thought it was poor, really. If that guy wanted to say something, why didn't he DM me? It would have been far easier than putting it out there. And, Pete looked embarrassed about having to say it. But again, it was very poor from that guy. And shame on that guy, really. And, yeah, that's all I've got to say on that, by the way.
I'll just add one thing on why John's been accused of being a Red. At the Cup final, when we're playing Manchester United, he sent out a tweet saying, "Have a great day. May the best United win."
Yeah.
And that's why people call him a Red. Can't be doing that, especially if you've got a Newcastle channel. You can't be wishing luck to the team you're playing against in the Cup final.
No, certainly not. Tanji says if Kane leaves and Spurs don't improve that defence, they could be in a relegation scrap. Whew, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll give Postecoglou 6 months. Sefton says afternoon all. Good afternoon, Sefton. You're a bit late because we're now just about to head off. We're all about to wrap up now. Daniela says Tanji, I think Spurs may have did season with or without Kane. Sinclair is trying to tap that young man. You are lassie, that's why. He says, how are the lads? Again, we don't know. That's just rumours. Tanji says, I think Spurs may have had a bad season. Yeah, exactly. And Sefton says, hot or what? Don't take any notice, Tony. No, I don't. I don't, mate. I just let it run out. It's like water off a duck's back, mate. It's like water off a duck's back. I don't take notice. I just let people get on with it. If people want to call me, John's clearly decided he doesn't want me on his channel. That's fair enough. He wants us to go separate ways. That's fair enough. If that's what John wants, that's fair enough for John. It's his channel. He can have fun who he wants. I did ask him to come on here and do his sharing of the I did ask John to come on here and say, look, talk about last season, how we're done. And he didn't bother responding to me, just totally blanked me, which I found I was a bit taken aback by that because I'd done a lot for John when I was on his channel. I ran his channel for a week when he went away on holiday in Turkey because he was just going to close his channel for a week. And I said, well, hang on, John, I'll run it for you. And obviously I had then a lot of people during that week asking me why I didn't have my own channel. That's why I started my own channel up. And yeah, I don't know, but John's just seemed to have gone a bit funny now. And if I still talk to him often sometimes on DM, but not often now. But it's sad that people want to go that way, but that's up to John at the end of the day. And he didn't like me. He said I made his mods a scapegoat. Well, no, I didn't make his mods a scapegoat. One of his mods wanted to come out and ruin me. And when you're being trolled like that by a mod called Jules, and being trolled to that extent, then I'm sorry. John should have had a backbone and got onto it and said, no, you can't do that. But he didn't. He stuck up for her instead. And the thing is, when his channel starts getting ruined by their mods, he'll soon realise. And the thing is, he's not going to have people to run forward to say, look, um, I should have took notice, because it's too late then. And if anything happens on his channel with these mods and he comes running to me, I'm just going to say, John, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. You didn't want anything to do with me. You are sticking up for your mods. Now it's all gone pear-shaped. You're now asking me for help. I'm going to say no, thank you. And that's the way I see it. As far as I'm concerned, this channel's all about Newcastle, as is Toon Review and some other channels as well, like Adam Pay and, things like that. But, so yeah, and I appreciate the support I get off everybody who comes on here and watches this channel, because we try and give you the best content we can possibly give you as well. So, and we will continue to give you the best we can during these summer months while there's no football, and then we can't wait till the season starts, because there's going to be plenty of action going on. And in October, I'm off to Benidorm for 4 days. But guess what? I'm still going to stream live from Benidorm. So when I'm in Spain, I will definitely be streaming live from Spain. So you will get sick of seeing me in Spain as well. So I might be sitting there with a cocktail. I might be sitting there with a pina colada, or a tapas or whatever. But anyway, I will still be streaming from there, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm just going to jump into some comments as well. Billy says, that guy was just trying to appear relevant, which he'll never be on that channel he's on. Yeah, absolutely, Billy. Wonky says, John's a confused individual. Once DM'd me asking me to join his channel. I said, John, I've been on your channel 2 years. It's quite insulted, to be honest. Needless to say, not tuned in much since. That's fair enough. Top show, thank you very much indeed, Sefton. Billy says, John's viewing figures have plummeted since you left Tone. He should, but doesn't realise this. Yeah, absolutely, Billy. I know what you're saying, mate. Yeah, I did a lot for John. Wonky Donkey says, look, he's massive to me. Absolutely. Daniela says, have a nice summer, guys. See you soon. Up the irons. Yeah, see you soon, Daniela. And yeah, have a great summer too. And look forward to the start of next season as well. Yeah. But do join the chat if you're on during the summer as well, because we'll still be on. Tanji says, some deluded bit of comments on Twitter from other clubs fans on announcement of our new sponsor. See, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're going to be. And you know what? Let them get on with it, Tanji. That's what I say.
Let the haters hate.
Godfather John Sinclair, Red Never, laughing. Wonky says, that's why I don't have a channel. I tell folks straight. That's why I'm still doing donkey rides on the beach. EO. Tanji says, congratulations, Danny, last year on West Ham's success in Europe. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Tanji, indeed. You and Roly are brilliant, says Sefton. Thank you very much indeed, Sefton. Enjoy the trophy, says Gary. Gary says, I see he keeps tagging his man. Yeah, he does. Every Friday. Yeah, without fail, Gary, every Friday. But not only that, Gary, but they also tag John and stuff as well. So yeah, definitely. Billy says, get Mad John Benidorm as a guest. I doubt she'll be there, Billy Bush. She'll probably look like that now. Daniela says, Tanji, thank you. We're still buzzing. Great night. Like I said, our Spurs sit and some changes come in the top of the English Premier League. Absolutely. Tony and Joy, Sticky Vicky. Well, I don't think she does it now. I think her daughter does it, doesn't she? But me and the other half are definitely going to go into a nightclub for a laugh and just see what happens. I might take some footage and stick it out there as well. Who knows? Tanji says, ask if she can pull Klopp's teeth out from between her legs. I agree, Seth, and top lads, Tony and Roly enjoyed the show. Thank you very much. Do you
Thank
know
you,
who
thank you.
Sticky Vicky is, Roly?
No.
Yeah,
No.
she pulls stuff out from between her legs.
Okay.
Yeah, from a
Yeah, I can,
womanhood, yeah.
yeah,
So
I know what you mean.
she pulls all sorts out. Billy says, our daughter is clammy Pammy, apparently. I know, pet. Yeah, absolutely, Roly. That's what she does anyway. Right, Roly, before we go, do you want to let people know where they can find you on your socials?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pulse67. If you follow me, I'll follow you back.
Yeah. I mean, the lads says, I'm not keen on the new sponsor. Like, if they want to take one of our cup competitions all the way to Saudi, like they have for the Italians, I don't think they'll do that, to be fair. But, let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Tamji says her mum taught her daughter tricks of the trade. That has to be investigated, surely. Jake says, Tom goes to see Sticky Vicky 4 days later. He still misses his flight. Oh dear. Billy says her mum must call Moist Joyce. Right, on that note, Billy and chat, if you do like what you see, then please smash a like. It does help the channel up the search results, so smash those likes. Also, if you're brand new at the channel, then hit that subscribe button and come and join this great community. And also, this bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. It's been an absolute blast. Issue related to Waterfall. Wendy. Oh, God. But yeah, it's been a great show. We've looked at a few names, talked about the new shirt, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we're looking forward to a bright summer ahead and a great transfer window ahead as well. Don't drop the excitement. Keep the excitement going. Remember, we're on a roller coaster and it's the beginning of a ride. There's going to be some bumps and there's going to be some loops. But I tell you what, once that roller coaster gets higher and higher, there is no stopping us. So just remember, the future's bright. The future is black and white. And I've just got some more comments before we go, Roly. Sugar Lump says, Father. Great father. Godfather, sorry. Mighty Max says, Tony, I don't know if I know Tielemans is signed for Villa. Has he? Wow.
No, I've not seen that. But...
No, but that's a shock. Roberta the Squirter says, Billy. Water Pistol Wendy. God. Right. So it's goodbye from me.
That's goodbye from me.
How are the lads?